what's going on? In this video, I'm going to be breaking down my 6-pillar framework that I used to go from 150 to 200 by putting on 50 pounds of lean muscle naturally without a bunch of, protein powders or going to the gym a bunch of times. I used to go to the gym a bunch when I was younger, but honestly, this is what I used to transition away from that, being able to run a business, still have my time free. I'm going to the gym a couple times a week, and when I'm traveling, not having to be chained down on the treadmill or to the weights. Because these are frameworks that I've been able to use to sustain the results I've had and actually achieve my ideal physique. And the name of my coaching program, for those of you guys watching that aren't yet aware, it's Achieve Your Ideal Physique. Because I work specifically with a type of individual who's a male that's looking to build muscle. And, it all varies person to person on what their ideal physique is. But if you use these frameworks, then you're still going to get the same results that you want, right? Because if you go through all these 6 pillars, it's going to be parallel to the person next to you. Some people vary person to person. Some people in my program are more fat loss and they want to lose a few pounds of fat. They want to build some muscle up. Some people are lean and scrawny and they want to just build muscle. Others are in between. But one thing you want to keep in mind before I go into my process is that the more muscle you have on your body, the more calories you burn at rest. And because of that fact, the more muscle you have, the easier it's going to be to lose body fat. And I'm not the type of coach to tell you restrict your calories or do all these monotonous tasks. I'm the type of coach to tell you you need to gain lean muscle mass if you want to lose fat. And if you don't have fat on your body, you probably still want to gain more muscle. And if you don't, you wouldn't be watching this video. So what are those 6 pillars and how did I actually implement them into my own life? Well, let me just give you a brief backstory. I started off going to the gym 6-7 times a week, way over a decade ago, right? And I realized shortly after that I didn't need to be doing that much. I was actually spinning my wheels, wasting too much time, overtraining, running into joint pain, all these sorts of things. And eventually when I structured this process, I realized that this is something that a lot of people could use. And then I worked with over 60 men in person. If you've never heard of Equinox, it's a high-end gym. And I worked with CEOs, busy professionals, lawyers, doctors, data analysts, businessmen, pretty much every profession you can name. And it's not to say that I haven't worked with females, but I specialize in working with men because I'm a man and I've helped them, achieve their ideal physique, right? And I got a lot of feedback from my in-person clients before transitioning into the online setting. And I was, when I was there, starting to dabble a little bit into the online coaching setting, but eventually I realized that what those clients weren't getting from the in-person setting was the most important factors, like the nutrition and the mindset, and importantly, right, holding them accountable. The accountability is really what a lot of my clients worked with before. And we had different training programs that we worked on together, but after 6 to 12 weeks with just the exercise, it's most of the clients I worked with, unless they had some sort of injury or they're coming from PT and they needed just reassessment and they needed a lot of work, most of them, 95% of these guys, they knew how to do the exercises correctly. So the main issue was structuring their workouts, making sure they're holding themselves accountable, making sure I'm holding themselves accountable, keeping their nutrition dialed in, keeping their metabolism optimized, getting their hormones in check. It was everything that the gym did not allow me to help them with that they needed help with. It was basically how can I hold them accountable when they're not in the gym with me? And also a lot of the clients would cancel last minute. It would just be unfortunate because it's I meet with this person once or twice a week and in the last minute they cancel their session and now it's I don't know what's going on. And I also worked with some clients that were, on Ozempic trying to lose weight, and they would come in and they're like, hey, I'm struggling to lose weight and I'm still struggling to learn the habits to keep the weight off on my own. The drug is kind of working, kind of not, but I'm still having binge eating and these things sort of come up, right? So the reason I transitioned into the online coaching setting is to address all of these problems and help a client achieve their ideal physique, because I realized that going through fitness wasn't just something that, gave you a better look in the mirror or had you shredded at the beach with a 6-pack. That stuff's all great and dandy, right? But truly, fitness changed the outcome of my life. It gave me the confidence levels. It gave me, the interest in pursuing greater for myself and becoming the best possible version of myself. And of course, it's great when you build muscle, when you lose weight, you're going to feel great about yourself. But most importantly, this is what I talk with all my clients, and they give me the same feedback. When you start to prioritize your fitness, you put your health first. Every other avenue of your life starts to improve. Your relationships are going to improve because you're now putting yourself first. The operator of the ship is now going to be able to more smoothly navigate through the waters. You know what I'm saying? And same thing with mindset. If you don't have the right mindset around your own health, the perception you have about yourself when you look in the mirror and you don't feel your best, of course, you're not going to feel great going into work and doing tasks, daunting things that you don't feel like doing. And so I started to really lean into that. And then I had clients start to tell me even more hey, my relationship with God is improving, my self-confidence levels, of course, my energy, and also being able to get back to the things I like to do, spend time with my family, my loved ones, play sports. All these sorts of things are improving because I'm putting my health as the priority. So I'm going to show you how to do the same. So the 6 pillars, I'm going to make it short and concise. We're not going to spend a bunch of time. I'm not going to do some, fancy dancy video. I'm literally just here talking as I will on my client calls, because I know that probably you watching, you don't want all the fancy things. All the information's out there. All of the information is out there. You can look at my other YouTube videos if you'd like to. You can look at my Instagram page. Both of them are JStrapFit. But regardless, like all the information is out there. But what's not going to help you get to your result is just having the information but not applying it, all right? And so like this is why my clients invest into my program and work with me one-on-one for the implementation and for the action, like knowing exactly step-by-step what to do and helping them expedite that process. Almost like on a freeway, right? Like you take off, boom, you get there faster. I'm not having my clients take the back roads. No. You are not taking the back roads. I'm going to give you the bare minimum tasks so you know exactly step-by-step what to do to achieve your ideal physique. Now, I've given you an overview of where my kind of like philosophies stem from and what got me started. And I really tap into a lot of the psychology because that's the most important thing. I like to say it like this, right? Getting in shape, whether it's weight loss, building muscle, or somewhere in between, it is a combination of these three, right? Psychology, math, and science, right? Like the math is like the numbers of like how much weight to be lifting, how many reps to do, and also how much food to eat, right? And that sort of stuff, how many calories to burn. And the science is like, okay, like how your body engages with the muscles, like how technique is. And of course I have like video layouts in like my course modules on my community program where it shows like how to prevent joint pain and how to do all the exercise correctly and how to use proper biomechanics and anatomy. But like I said, I expedite the process so you don't have to worry about, yeah, the resources are there for you, but you don't have to worry so much about that. Really, you just have to follow the bare minimum tasks because I've used over a decade of information and applied it to so many clients that I've, compiled it into a program that's going to work just for you. So you just have to literally show up, follow these 6 pillars, and do the bare minimum tasks that I tell you to do, and you're gonna get results. And for those of you guys watching this video that are not in my program or are not thinking about joining my program, like totally cool. But I think that if you implement these 6 pillars and you do them on your own, like I said, accountability and implementation is the toughest part. That's why my clients work with me, because it's so hard to stay with all these things. And the variables are always changing. So your body is going to constantly adapt. And so if you're not able to hold yourself accountable, then like just join my program. But if you're not somebody that wants to, like totally cool, just follow this roadmap and you will literally achieve your ideal physique. So what are those 6 pillars? Now that I've talked for 8 minutes and 25 seconds, I'm gonna break it down very short and concise. So pillar 1 is progressive training structure. This means knowing exactly which exercise to do, in which order, with how much rest time, optimizing all these things, because that's the most important thing. You need to be weight training if you want to build muscle. The second most important is going to be proper nutritional strategy. So knowing what foods to eat for your goals based on preferences, what you like to eat and your allergies and things. And also when you're on the go, whether you're grocery shopping and meal prepping at home, whether you're on the go and you don't have time. Some of my clients don't even have a kitchen. So they have to know how to track their custom macros and know what amounts of foods are best, given their protein, carbs, and fat numbers. And so that's the second pillar is the proper nutritional strategy. And then number 3 is short-term accountability. My job as a coach is A, to hold you to the standard you set for yourself, but B, to hold you accountable to the things that you know you need to be doing and that I know you need to be doing to achieve your end goal and your ideal physique. So if you can get through those 3 pillars with my help or without my help, you're going to start getting a lot better and closer to the end result you have. So again, proper nutritional strategy, progressive training structure, which I know I mixed those up, but it's really, those are the first 2 steps. It doesn't really matter like which order you look at, like, because they need to go together, right? You need the nutrition and the training. And I think we all know that. And then the third one is going to be like the short-term accountability, like you holding yourself accountable and me holding yourself accountable. So this is where I really like to tap into the positive reinforcement with the psychology of like, how is it that you're able to achieve these results in the first place? How are you going to create this positive feedback loop where you actually prefer doing these things so that you cut out the cravings, right? And like you have the physique that you want, and it doesn't have to be this difficult thing. I don't like any of my clients being monotonous, eating like chicken and rice and tracking all their macronutrients to a monotonous, like to a T. I don't like any of that stuff. Some of my clients do it for sure, but it's not obsessive. It's like, okay, this is an easy way to make sure that we're staying like almost in the buoys in a sense, right? If you're swimming in the ocean, making sure you stay within those buoys so you don't go too far to get eaten by a shark, right? It's like, okay, we're gonna track a couple key variables, make sure that we're in a good spot until we have it, intuitively just adapt as part of who we are, and then we can start to step away and just maintain these results. And this is truly what I do. Like I literally don't track food. Like once in a while, I'll address these things and look at where they're at, but like I literally don't track my nutrients. Like I do not put food into MyFitnessPal. I don't do any of these things anymore. But I did at the beginning because I need to get a general sense of where I was at. So that's why some of my clients do these things. Other clients are a bit more advanced. They're able to do these things more intuitively, but really you need a structure regardless. Whether that's an eyeball structure by a coach that has a second set of eyeballs that you don't have, you have just one. And no, I don't have classes. But like working with a coach, you're gonna have a second attention span, like a second set of eyeballs that's gonna show you like what to do, right? And so like that's why it's so important. Like those are the first 3 pillars. Once you get through those 3, you can get to 4, 5, and 6, but it doesn't make any sense to focus on the latter half if you don't have those checked off. It's like skipping steps and you're going to fall up or down the stairs, and we don't want to do that. So number 4 is long-term sustainability, right? So making sure that you're sustainable with these things long-term. So this is going to be me working one-on-one with you, making sure that you find your internal why. What does that mean? That means, why is it in the first place that you're trying to achieve your ideal physique? Is it just for the fleeting, never-ending goal of like, oh, I want to look at the beach? Because that will never keep you fulfilled and on track to get there. That's going to flee, and you're going to feel undisciplined, unmotivated at times, right? And of course, I'm here to push you to being your best self, but like, it's just truly never worked with the clients I've worked with. And that's why I always steer them towards like, why do you actually want to do this? Like, how do you feel about yourself when you prioritize your health? And so we're going to dig deep into how is it that you can actually get to, just want to turn my heat down. It's a little bit warm in here. Why is it that you are trying to do this in the first place? Because if we can intrinsically tie that why to something positive and greater than you, whether that's you having time with your family, whether that's for you to prevent the health issues that other family members run into so that you can be there for your loved ones. That's truly one of the reasons that I do this. Like, I've had family members that have passed away from health concerns, and I will never allow myself or my future family members to deal with these things, because I truly put my fitness first and make sure that like it's going to allow me to live the life I want. So whether it's one of those reasons, whether it's you want to be able to play sports, like I play basketball all the time, so I like to be able to play basketball without all the back and forth, like, oh, my lower back hurts or my knees hurt or my feet hurt, because I ran into all these joint issues and it was never fun. It was always a pain and it was difficult because I wanted to be able to live the life I want. And so like now being able to have the ideal physique that I'm after, although I'm still a ways from that, I always like to set new goals. I've gotten to a point now where I can live the life and enjoy the life I want and focus on helping my clients and just maintaining these results. And of course I set new milestones, try to build more muscle, I try to get leaner at times, but really it's okay. I have a really good handle now over my fitness because I've set these 6 pillars into play and they just become part of my DNA. I did not mean to write in there, but I did. And truly they just become habits. And that leads into the 5th pillar, which is habit implementation. Now, similar to pillars 1 and 2, pillars 5 and 6 are also going to be kind of like parallel in terms of like, it doesn't matter which order you look at them from, right? Whether it's the long-term sustainability or the habit implementation, both of these 2 pillars are going to happen with one another, right? So as you develop the habits, you're also going to have that sustainability. And as you develop the sustainability, naturally as a byproduct, the habits start to come, right? But you need the long-term habits, because I've had clients in the past that I worked with, we worked in person at the gym and then we lost 30, 40 pounds. And then like 6 months later, they regained the weight. And why is it that? It's because they didn't have the habits instilled, and that infuriated me because I literally want to get my clients the best possible results. So clients like that, now they work with me either one-on-one with the online setting, or they are doing better like just getting the habits down so they can keep the weight off. And doing that, keeping the weight off, is the best thing you can do, because you don't want to lose weight and then like put it back on. What you want to do is you want to achieve your ideal physique and maintain the results for the rest of your life, so ultimately you can achieve your ideal life. Because if you don't have the health that you want, it's going to be hard to have the life that you want without optimal health and your ideal physique. Like, your confidence is not going to be there, your energy is not going to be there, you're going to have pain, like you're going to be just like not feeling satisfied with the life that you have for yourself. And that's so true. Like, you don't have to agree. Actually, you do have to agree. I was going to say, you don't have to agree, you can just like end the video, but like all of us would agree with that. Like, if you don't feel and look your best, you're not going to have the life you want, right? So those are the first 5 pillars. And the 6th pillar is what I aim to get every single client through, is intuitive implementation. So like, how is it that once you have these results and you're sustaining them, how can you do these things intuitively? This is where you back off of the tracking the food, tracking the protein, doing all these things, programming your workouts, knowing exactly what to do step by step, tracking everything monotonously, right? Like I said, when I say tracking monotonously, what that means is I'm tracking everything for you. You're just doing the minimum tasks. But if you can step back and realize that like, hey, I actually don't need to worry so much and put so much of a mental burden on myself to achieve this ideal physique, I can just, kind of cruise, right? Then that's when you're going to realize that it's a lot easier to sustain these results and do these things intuitively. And then you can travel to, I don't know where you travel to, Hawaii, Japan, Canada, like wherever you want to travel to, you can travel and not have to worry about the burdens of staying on top of everything, because it's just seeped into your DNA and part of who you are. And this is part of your lifestyle now. And that's truly what I do. Like, I don't really track anything, to be honest. Like I said about nutrition, I don't. Same thing with exercises. Like, I keep mind of it mentally, but it's just part of who I am. So I don't have to worry about all the monotonous things of tracking the weight every single week. I have guidelines, borders I use by following these 6 pillars, and it allows me to achieve my ideal physique. So again, proper nutritional strategy and progressive training structure are key. Once you have that checked out the box, then short-term accountability is the next one, habit implementation, and long-term sustainability. And then you transition into the intuitive implementation stage, or pillar, phase, whatever you want to call it. And that's when my clients are done working with me. Truly, I get them to that point. Now, what I will say is 95% of the clients that get through that 6th pillar, they achieve their ideal physique and they feel great, and they want to keep working with me because like they're just getting results. And it's like, why would I transition now into doing this on my own when like all I have to do is just show up and follow through with the bare minimum tasks that John's telling me to do, and I can have the results I want? Like, why would I now try to implement this all on my own? Because it's just so much easier to just invest and work with a coach. That's what 95% of the clients I work with do. They just re-enroll when we're done with the program, and they say like, let's do it again. Let's set a higher goal, a larger goal, and become even better. And it becomes easier. And then it's we're jumping on our calls, and it's really like a hey, like, how's everything going? And they're like, dude, like, stuff's going well, and we're making small tweaks, and we're just really instilling these habits. But a lot of the groundwork, the heavy lifting is out of the way. No pun intended there. And so like that's what I do with my clients. And make a long story short, that is the Achieve Your Ideal Physique program. And those are the 6 pillars. Now, one thing I want to touch on, or actually 2 more things I want to touch on before we wrap up the video. The first thing I want to touch on is I do have something else that I use for a lot of my coaching processes, right? We have, and this is when I went through my nutrition coaching certifications, my personal training certs, all these sorts of things. This is one thing that stuck out to me. You know, it talks about skills at the top here, and above the skills are results, right? So any result you want for yourself are simply a matter of applying skills to getting that result. So if you have the result, if you want the result of losing 50 pounds, you need the skills of being disciplined, of eating the right types of foods, of being consistent, all these sorts of things, right? So how is it that we actually acquire these skills? Well, we need consistent habits, right? How do we develop habits? You know, taking consistent action, right? I think you can kind of see where I'm going. I'm working my way backwards from the top to the bottom of the pyramid or the totem pole, whatever you want to term it. And in order to have those habits become instilled, we just need those actions, right? But before we can get those actions and take them consistently, we need the right belief systems and the right thought patterns of ourselves, because there's this miscongruency when it comes to taking actions that don't align with how we think about ourselves. And that's just from the psychological level, how things work. So if you're going to the gym and you're trying to lose 30 pounds, and each time you go into the gym or each time you go on a late night walk or you're eating your foods, you're in your head thinking like, oh, this will never work. I will never lose the weight. I'm this overweight guy. It's going to feel very weird. And there's going to be a lot of this friction. And you need to break through that friction, and it's going to be very, very hard to lose weight. And that's kind of how I was. Like when I was like 140, 150, trying to get to 200 lean, it was very difficult at the beginning because I'm like, well, I identify as a scrawny guy that can't build muscle. Like, how am I going to build muscle? I had to put in a bunch of work, but also I had to start to shift my belief systems to say, like, I'm this type of person. It's possible for me. And I don't have the tangible result yet, but I truly believe I'm going to get there. And it's a lot easier when you have people in your corner that are pushing you, right, to that end result. And so, like, that's what I had to do. And that's what I teach my clients. Like, hey, if you can start to identify as the person that is in shape, that has the ideal physique they're after, then it's going to be a lot easier to just do things that are already part of your DNA and who you are, right? And so, like, before we can have those belief systems and those thought patterns, we need the mindset and the identity to self-identify as that person. And this is where, when I went through my nutritional coaching certification, if you guys have ever heard of precision nutrition, for regular people out there that aren't in this health space, you probably don't, but for precision nutrition, that's what I went through. And basically, you know, it seemed like pretty straightforward when I went through the textbooks and everything. I remember thinking, there's got to be at least one magic thing in there. And I realized that all the things in there literally were information that I already knew. Like some of the things I touched upon, you know, the minerals, the vitamins, and like all the scientificals, but I didn't see that much that stuck out to me, which I thought was confusing. And I remember opening the book, starting that program and thinking like, okay, once I actually go through it, like there's going to be something that's going to like teach me something I didn't know. And I realized that most of the things I already knew, but the one thing that stuck out to me was the mindset. It talked about psychology just a little bit, and it triggered my brain because I'm a huge psychology guy, and that's, I think, why I try to get my clients such good results is because I understand it all stems from mindset. I can't just be telling you, eat chicken, eat rice, eat broccoli, and then like be scolding you like, why haven't you hit your weight loss goals? Why haven't you hit build muscle like you're hitting your macros? I need to take it from a more strategic look of like, okay, how on a psychological level can we rewire your brain to start to achieve your ideal physique and make it easier for you to do so? And when I went through that portion of the textbook and it talked about psychology, what I stumbled across that I've read over and over and over and over and over again, I talk about this on literally almost like every client check-in call. Maybe not everyone, but a lot of them. We have our subconscious, or sometimes otherwise called our unconscious brain, and we have the conscious brain. And so we basically have the subconscious and the conscious. So our subconscious brain fires about 40 times the amount of neurons per second that the conscious brain does, which means that all of the thought patterns, all of the things coming into your brain, that could be negative belief patterns, positive belief patterns, it could be really anything, but it's how your brain is wired. All of those on the subconscious level are going to overpower the conscious brain. So if you've grown up overweight, if you've been overweight for 5 years, 10 years, etc., if you've been, you know, scrawny and struggling to put muscle on for a year, 2 years, 3 years, all of the thoughts around, I'm the skinny guy, I can't put muscle on, right? Or like, I can't stay consistent with my nutrition, I can't go to the gym consistently, I don't know what I'm doing, I'm not confident, all these things, they start to rub off into your brain, and basically like that's what picks up in the subconscious level. So what I like to talk on is the subconscious versus the conscious brain, like why it's so difficult to shift and break free. But it's not difficult if you have the right strategy around these things and you know how to shift free and drift away. And so that's something that helped me truly go from 150 to 200. And just simply by identifying myself as, in my own head, like visualizing before it even came true to fruition, like I'm going to be 200 pounds lean, and now I'm just 200 pounds lean. And I'm not going to say like it just happened overnight magically. Like, no, of course you have to do consistent work and it takes time. But like 50 pounds of lean muscle is, you know, like very doable. And majority of people that are watching this video, you probably don't need that much muscle. Like you'd be surprised, 10 or 20 pounds of lean muscle on your frame is not that difficult. Losing 20, 30, 40 pounds is not that difficult. And fat loss is going to be a lot more of a breeze when it comes to the process. It can happen a lot quicker with the right strategies. But what's difficult with the weight loss side of things is maintaining that physique and keeping the weight off. See, with weight loss, like we can quickly drop the weight. I know you probably know that with keto, like low carb diets. I'm not the type of person to prescribe that to my clients. I'm not the type of coach that will do that. But I am the type of coach that will allow my clients to get faster results by building more muscle, and they drop fat faster that way. And then doing that, just sustaining that weight loss, right? So like this is why 30 to 40 pounds of fat could be dropped in like 4 months, 6 months, maybe a little less. But it's just how you do things and how consistent you are, and also how you identify it yourself, right? When you get there though, maintaining is the part that's like, okay, let's make sure we have these habits implemented. And so that's really what the 6 pillars look like. And so we want to go from results, starting literally from our mindset. So if you have the right mindset going into this, then you're going to achieve your ideal physique, go through those 6 pillars and smash your goals. And that's just really like what the AYIP program is. It's a way for you to understand like how to get there. So all of you guys out there like probably understand the frameworks, but really what that looks like on a more in-depth level without giving you all of the details are I help my clients focus on optimizing their hormones and optimizing their metabolism. So this is that they're burning more calories on autopilot, getting their calories, that they burn per day increased, and also doing so with a strategic approach operated around their hormones, their hormonal health, and their nutrition and what foods they're putting in their body. And then doing that paired with like water intake, proper exercise, strategy in the gym, efficiency, etc. is how you get there. And so I have a course with video modules that breaks down literally all of these questions. All the questions that are ever going to come up are going to be in my course. You're also going to have a community there with other men just like yourself that are going to tell you exactly what you need so that they support you as another layer of accountability. In addition, you're going to know exactly what exercises to do and how many repetitions, how many sets, volume, all that sort of stuff. I have a video on my YouTube channel called Volume Negates Luck, and it's very similar. Like literally if you're doing enough volume, it will eventually pay off, but you guys don't have that much time, I know. Like you don't have 6, 7, 8 days a week. It's a joke there. You don't have 6, 7 days a week in the gym like I did over a decade ago to learn all these things. You just want the fast results quick. And so that's truly why this program is a thing. So that's why I give you the strategy and the efficiency in the program. I show you how to do every exercise, how many sets, reps, etc., how much weight to do, how much food to eat, what types of foods, and then we work together one-on-one until you achieve your ideal physique. Now that's in a nutshell my program. And if you don't join my program, it doesn't beat me. I have a lot of clients I work with. They're great. They get literally insane transformations, and I'm blessed to be able to work with them. So I don't need to work with you because I already have a lot of people I work with, but I would love to help you achieve your ideal physique because I'm truly so passionate. You could very well implement these 6 pillars into your own life and start to achieve the progress that you're after. But the main thing that holds people back from doing so is it's just tough to stay accountable. And that's why having a coach, having a mentor in this space, having somebody that's done this with so many other people, literally men just like yourself watching, if you're somebody that struggled with these things for a long, long time, there's a reason that you're still in the exact same spot and you're probably struggling to get to the other side. But if you want to just get there, then literally just working with somebody that's done those things and helped a lot of other people do the same is your best bet. So take with what you will from this video, whether that's implementing everything on your own and literally following to a T everything, plus all the things that you're missing out on inside of my program that I'm not listing in this video because it's just not fair to my clients. There will be gaps. There will be pieces there where you're just not knowing exactly what to do, but you can still get there. Don't get it twisted. If you do want the step-by-step process of like how to get there on your own, then just like watch this, watch all my other YouTube videos, go on my Instagram, like use my free macro calculator, like use all these things on your own, hold yourself accountable. Maybe you are that 1%, but I've just found that 99% of people, it's tough to do it on their own. So if you aren't feeling like you can do this on your own, then this is the program for you. Achieve Your Ideal Physique is made for men like you. Now, make sure that after watching this video, you actually just choose. Because the worst thing you could do is to stay in the exact same position of uncertainty of, I don't know, or I'll think about it, or I'll do something. Either choose, either join my coaching program and get the amazing transformation like all of my other clients do, or decide that you're gonna follow through, implement everything in this video, and decide that you are that 1%. But what I will say is dropping your ego and knowing that you don't have to be, soft or whatever you want to term it to work with a coach. You're actually being smarter. And that's something I've done countless times in my life. Whatever you want to do, balls in your court, either join my program or don't. But really, I think just taking from this video, knowing the 6 pillars and those frameworks will set you up for success. And whatever you choose to do, I will see you on the other side. I'll see you guys in the next video. My Instagram is jstroudfit if you do want to check it out. And that's where I walk through the behind the scenes, the day in the life, my client results, my story, my background, like how I got into this. I know I talked a little bit on like the in-person training job, but I'm also, I've just been passionate about this for a long time. That I love talking about it, and so that's why I have hundreds of other videos. So go through them, check them out, get to know me if you like. If not, it's all good. But I think that you guys could get something serious from watching this video. And if you take it serious, you will be surprised on what's on the other side. The health you want, the confidence, the energy levels, the person that you're meant to be, deep down that you know you're meant to be. You want to be watching this video if you felt like your physique was optimized. If you felt like everything in your life, your physique, your health, your energy was on point to a T, 100% the way you wanted, you would not be watching this video. So something tells me that since you made it all the way to the end, you want to make a change. So just choose. Are you going to do it all on your own and try to figure it out? Or are you going to just take the action and decide to move forward? Nonetheless, you have what it takes to achieve your ideal physique. You just need a strategy. And if you can achieve your ideal physique, you can achieve your ideal life. if you do want to jump in the program, just shoot me a message on Instagram, type the word AYIP, and I'll give you like further steps. If I still have spots, my roster is limited because I only work with a select number of clients at the same time, because I want to make sure A, we're a good fit, but also B, that I give the amount of attention that each client needs. Hopefully that kind of like answers some of your questions, you guys, and I look forward to chatting with you soon.